What is your cringe I'm not like other girls stories? Story 1. There was a point in my life when I felt like I'm not like other girls if I 1. Don't complain too much. Not be too emotional. Have no strong opinions about anything. And basically, go with the flow as much as I can. This led to having no boundaries and a lot of repressed mental health issues on my part. 2. Can be a jack of all trades and knowledgeable about many different hobbies and interests. This led to having a lot of equipment I barely use anymore, spending a lot more money, and I feel like I can never get past the basics of everything, which made me lose my sense of self. 3. Basically, didn't have my own identity, and I could be any girl you wanted me to be. I'm not like other girls because I am all girls. I'm Whitney Houston, I am every woman. Edit. Wow, it's both humbling and concerning, knowing so many people feel similarly. I guess we're all Whitney on this blessed day. Story 2. In high school in 2016, I had a girl convince me that I was basic because I listened to whatever was on the radio and knew the songs. I have 4 sisters, so of course I do. They didn't like my music. Well, one day I caught her listening to a certain band and went, "Oh, what are you listening to?" She went, "Oh, you wouldn't know them. They're very out of your taste." I don't have a taste in music. I asked her to share the details, and she just kept telling me I didn't know them, and that she was going to their summertime concert, just to appease the metalhead boys in our choir. Oh, really? Where's the concert? Oh, it's in New York. Oh, really? My dad never scheduled a concert there. Her heart visibly dropped as soon as she pieced 2 and 2 together. I have the same last name as the drummer. The band is local. It's my dad's band. I cringed so hard writing this because I can just remember her trying to convince me I didn't know my dad. Edit. I won't drop the band name because it will give away personal information. Story 3. I always loved dolls and dressing up as a kid. I would spend all my free time playing with my dolls. But when I went to school, I would scoff at the other girls for playing with dolls. I wanted to be seen as tough and cool. Spoiler, I was neither of those things. For my 10th birthday, my parents worked together to build me some doll furniture. Dad did a lot of woodworking, and Mom was good with a sewing machine. Together they created a cool little wardrobe and bed set for my dolls. They were painted white and had little flower stickers for decoration. My dad had even made a little mirror for my dolls to go on the inside of one wardrobe door. And Mom had sewn up a mini mattress for the bed. I just about cried when I opened my presents because I loved them so much. But my friend was sitting right beside me, and I knew if I told my parents I loved the presents, my friend would know I liked dolls. My lies would be undone. So I said, "Thanks, but I don't like dolls, they're for babies." My parents looked so sad. I'm 25 years old and I'm crying as I type this because I still feel so guilty 15 years later. A few years ago, I got drunk at a family gathering and I sobbed to my dad and apologized for what I did and told him I loved the present. He knew, so I got my apology out, but I still feel like such a terrible person. Hey OP, you still deserved that dollhouse. They knew it was just preteen angst. They forgave you and still love you. Forgive yourself, okay? I can feel you're regretting your comment, and I just want you to dig deep down, smile at 10-year-old you, and forgive her for being a silly goose, afraid to admit she loved dolls in front of a friend, when it was such a crucial time in her social development. You didn't do anything 90% of young girls everywhere haven't done at some point to fit in. It's really sweet you still tried to make amends as an adult. That just proves what a wonderful person you've grown into. Edit. You all are choking me up with the awards and messages being sent. To anyone else who needs it, your childhood should be spent happy and carefree. If there's a cloud hanging over those memories, whether by your own design or cruel injustice, Go back in time and hug your little self. Hold them close. Give them a kiss on the forehead and tell them it's okay, because it is. Childhood is innocent. You were innocent, and just because age has made you wiser and given you hindsight to reflect and regret does not change that. Little you don't want to disappoint you, so let them know it's alright and they can go play. Here's a hug from me, and although the awards are touching me and making me feel so warm and appreciated, if you are spending your own money, please consider sending a donation to children's centers and programs around you instead. Let those kids be kids too. Story 4. Lady next door needed help breaking into her. Probably not. Son's friend car. She said she could do it with a fishing line, and I happen to like to fish. So I had some braided heavy pound test and offered it to her. She pulls the amount she needs and tries to break it with her teeth for a while. I told her, "Ma'am, that's a braided line." She said, "Oh no, honey. I'm a country girl." Story 5. I spent my middle school years wearing fake cone-tail extensions and saying, "I'll end you," to anyone who tried talking to me, especially other girls. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I'm still lying awake at night, replaying it all a decade later. Edit. To answer a few questions. I guess I thought it made me cool and mysterious. I also bragged about not having any friends for some reason. I was a Girl Scout at the time as well, and it was so bad the troop leader suggested I find a new troop. I was very odd and standoffish. I had severe undiagnosed anxiety, and I never really developed basic social skills as a kid. Around 16, I finally realized how bad I was, and dropped the weird fake mean persona. I'm a well-adjusted adult now, and to clear this up, cone-tails are not race-related. It's hair dyed in a striped pattern to resemble a raccoon tail. I had one pink and one blue that I insisted were real, and my bangs were bleached. I was a mess inside and out. Story 6. I remember being like 14, and this 16-year-old guy asked me what my fantasy was. And I said, well, I mean, most girls would like to have like Prince Charming on a white horse, but I don't like horses. I'm just different like that. He definitely meant spicy fantasies, not like romance. But I needed him to know I was cool and I didn't like horses like other girls. Story 7. A friend of mine started dating the single most dramatic girl I've ever met. We lived on the 4th floor. We always took the elevator, so we all get in to go down to the lunch hall, and she literally dashes for the corner and starts rocking back and forth in a really sad act at being terrified. He runs over to hold her and explains, "She's terrified of elevators. First, she lived with us on the same floor for 2 months. And we've all seen her on the elevator acting normal. Second, if you were really terrified of elevators, you would just walk the 4 floors. It wasn't even that far up. Third, her acting was just terrible. Of course, a few weeks later, she forgot all about it and went back to acting normal on elevators again." Story 8. A girl I went to high school with was such a try-hard to be just that. She thought she was being cool and edgy with everyone because she thought everyone liked her and that her sense of humor was so good. Turns out she was just obnoxious, and her humor was nothing but insults and demeaning comments about people at first glance. The biggest cringe moment was when we were trying out for soccer. Some of the men's soccer team were volunteering at the tryouts to help the coaches, taking notes, running drills, starting warm-ups, etc. And I was friends with them, either by classes or mutual friends. This chick got so angry at the fact that I was having a conversation with someone that she actually inserted herself into every conversation she saw me having to try and make herself look better and insult me. I brushed it off and moved on because I didn't have time for that. The second biggest cringe was that she started a rumor that I was sleeping with a guy I was good friends with. Turns out, she didn't bother checking if he was in a relationship. He was in a 5-year relationship at that point. He called her out and told her that was the last straw, and stopped being friends with her. Ended up making a lot of people feel really shady about her after that. Story 9. I was definitely one of those girls who was certain I could drink with the boys, which because I'm tall, I could drink more than some, but nowhere near a heavyweight. I told myself I hated pink, polka dots, and sparkles. Refused to go near any of it, even though I secretly loved them. I thought I could pass off as a cool girl by being able to talk about video games. Of course, as a little sister, I never played any of them. I would just watch. It's honestly so frustrating that so much of my personality was essentially hidden for most of my teen years simply because I didn't want to be seen as weak. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive notifications to my latest videos.